Now, one of the things that I think is highly misleading, the narrative that they put out or is about the lyrics the rappers are using in their songs. And they're not really getting arrested because of these lyrics. They're really getting arrested because they have actual proof of crimes, but then they're using the lyrics to connect to the crimes as to like further evidence.
Well, let's see. One thing about the court, opinions doesn't matter. I listened to the tape when the woman and the judge explained that people are talking about their First Amendments and all that, but for these new jacks out here, they've been talking about the First Amendment. Dolores Tucker, she complained about it. Luke had to go to the Supreme Court. Luke, whatever, is the rapper out of Miami. When his lyrics and all that, he went to the Supreme Court. So this already has been addressed. So let's listen to the words that the lady said. She said the words that they said will be used as evidence to a crime. That means when they said something, only the killer or somebody would know. So basically, social media is the best access to a prosecutor. They said something that nobody would know unless they were part of that crime. So don't get the lyrics. You can say whatever you want. They can't. 9/10 of the law is possession, and the other percent is knowledge. They have those elements involved in this case. So don't get caught up where they talking about the lyrics. That's irrelevant. If they bring up any lyric, they're going to have evidence that point to the crime that they're talking about in that show. There's been numerous indictments off of these podcasts, and I know them, but I just don't say nothing so I don't ruin their shows. But I don't go on them. But I know for a fact, because I know the people that are indicted after coming. You can say something on these shows that will get you indicted. So when they go to focusing on the lyrics, I don't think that matter too much as far as the lyrics. And whatever lyrics they point out, it's going to refer to a crime that was committed, that where the two are combined. And it's going to show a pattern. It's what they're going to show, a scheming, planning, conniving, extortion, and the things are being used to further this group.
Right, right. It just seems so vague.
Well, it's a long shot, but what happens is they'll stack the case up to where the jury will say, well, it's a pattern, and they call it a harmless error. Now, what really is going to be a big decision with these young men is the second indictment. Because if you consolidate the two into one case, that means one jury going to see you got another case. So they're going to have to keep that separated. It's going to be a minute that they're in there going to court, probably with no bail. It's very hard to get bail, but not in Atlanta, in Fulton County, but the other ones, you don't get no bail here. So you usually sit 2 or 3 years with no bail. In fact, I just come from down there on a violation last year where I did 90 days in Georgia because of me on parole here, but I do my time in Georgia. Mm-hmm.
This case is going to go on for, what, 2 to 5 years, maybe?
Yeah, particularly with a life sentence, you're going to get dragged out probably more than that. Probably a minimum of 4 to 5 years, because I know a lot of guys that were in there with me that had murder cases that had been in there 4, 5, 6 years. You're in no rush to go on that last midnight train to Georgia where you don't ride back home. So you're going to take all the available things that you can do to help prevent you from getting a life sentence and at least give you a chance of getting out.
Yeah, man. When you were locked up, did you see cases like this where they targeted gangs like this?
Nowhere in history that I witnessed to where any street gang has ever been charged up under state RICO acts. Usually the feds will come and get you because you're selling dope across state lines, crossing state lines. So this case here is something that the feds probably, it could even be an ongoing investigation to where the state is taking them now to keep them from going, and then don't be surprised when this case is over, the feds come and book them in federal prison for additional charges. So this is a long way from over. But I would tell these rappers, actors, particularly these guys on social media that be talking about guilt or innocence before these young men even be in court, that ain't how the game go. If you was in jail, you wouldn't be talking about it. And that could taint the jury and prejudice the jury, particularly with this new social media that's occurring, that's so evasive and so elusive and not being monitored, that could harm those young men as opposed to help them. So all these guys that's backdoor lawyer and all that, that's not cool to do that, man. You make accusations. I think you killed this Nipsey. Nobody was there. I was there. That's far from the truth. And then they sit up here with this false propaganda and narratives. They really need to get their acts together to help not only these other people, but those that are less fortunate also.
Anything else we can add to this?
Yeah, let's talk about Fulton County.
Okay.
Fulton County is one of the best places that you could go if you were black to go to court. You had Brian Nichols, who shot the judge there, shot the bailiff, shot the prosecutor, and killed somebody else in the courtroom after he took the gun, after he had 2 hung juries for sexual cases against a white woman. And you know, in Georgia, they say fight bees, they sting you, mess with a white woman, they hang you. But he got 2 hung juries. And on the 3rd time they tried to try him when it should have been dismissed, he took the gun from the bailiff and killed everybody. So Brian Nichols went there. I used to talk to him in prison on death row. And then you had another incident in Fulton County to where the police had been paid and brought a gun in to where they shot each other, inmates in Fulton County jail.
Damn.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
And they have another law in Georgia, Fulton County, that most don't know. The police can't chase you when you fleeing in Georgia, in Atlanta, Fulton County, Bunkhead up in there. If you run or flee from the police in the car, they don't give chase no more. That's a new law that's going on down there. So they're in the right county to where they can get some relief or possibly a fair trial and a jury of their peers. But I would keep an eye on this, because if this goes through, it's a litmus test that could knock out a lot of stuff on the streets. So this is not a new law. Local elected officials and prosecutors just never have implemented.
Okay. All right. Well, hopefully they do get a fair trial. You know.
Well,
you know,
usually in the court of law, it's whoever tell the best lie is the one who wins. Truth doesn't mean nothing. Just us means just us with money.
Yeah. It's messed up, man.
That's right.
Messed up situation.